They did not disappoint in season 2, but hopefully we don't have to wait 2 years for season 3. This is Rain Said That, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for coming back to my channel, and we're going to be giving a quick recap of season 2, the entire season. So if you didn't have time to watch it, or if you haven't watched this or anything of that nature, I advise you to stop right now, go to Netflix and watch the Empress season 1 and season 2, because this is going to be a whole spoiler on season 2 in totality. So I advise you to stop listening and go watch it. Now, this is for the people that have already watched it. So let's talk about how disappointed I was when I found out that she has 2 kids. Like, when we left off, she was pregnant. We came back, she got 2 kids, which was fine. Okay, and then she's trying to figure out if she's going to have a boy or a girl, only to find out she's having a girl. But my girl almost died in childbirth, and I hate that no one was even listening to her, but her husband. So shout out to Franz, and she had another girl. Now, I was kind of confused at the end because it was showing a boy, so maybe that was like time later she gave birth to a boy. I'm not really sure, but let's continue on. Now, Franz was not trying to see that baby because that baby tried to kill his wife, and he wasn't going to see the child unless his wife was okay. And she did come out of it, but at the same time, when she had that coronation, she also had to see that soldier die, and that kind of put her back into what they call lunacy or something like that, which she's not really lunacy, she just having a near-death experience. But let's go into the coronation, because the coronation was kind of like a foreshadowing into the season, where the soldier came out trying to let them know what's going on, trying to give them a heads up about Italy. You know, they're trying to make all the Spanish speaking colonies one together, and I feel as though this was the main important part for France, because we definitely see that France do not know what is going on outside of Vienna, outside of the castle, because he never goes out. Yeah, he goes out on tours and stuff like that, but not really. So this is the beginning of an end, and this was a very critical moment, which once you watch this season, you come back to it, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see why this is like this. Then Franz and Elisabeth got into it because the guards ended up killing the guy in the castle, and she was just like, it was excessive force, and he was just like, well, you know, I didn't know they was going to do that. And she's basically trying to tell him, like, you don't know anything, like, you don't have any type of leadership over the army, over your guards, over anything in the castle. And I feel like that he had to sit back and realize that he really don't. Now, his brother is in exile, so he decides to call up his brother because he needs to know what's going on outside of Vienna. And even though the relationship between him and Maximilian isn't good, he's willing to give him a chance to do that. Do I feel like that the relationship got any better this season? No, it actually got worse. And I do feel like Maximilian and the Empress would make a good relationship because they both are outside the box kind of thinkers, and they both are risk takers, but I can understand why she's with Franz. Now, Elisabeth and Franz is going on a world tour, and they actually decided to stop by the soldier's parents' house to let them know that he's dead, and that, you know, their condolences and things of that nature, because that was what Elisabeth wanted to do in person, because she felt like it was the right thing to do, which is definitely true. Now, she is having nightmares and stuff like that, being hunted by the dead soldier, so they decided to medicate her because she's having a hard time differentiating what is real and what is fake, and that was up to the Duchess, of course, with her evil self. But yeah, she decided to go and head through there because she's trying to keep a secret that she was the one that almost got Sophie drowned in the waterfall, which was basically, again, foreshadowing, because Sophie ended up dying. Remember, she got sick and she ended up dying. But I do blame the Duchess, because the Duchess was trying to use Sophie against Elisabeth, trying to use her as a pawn, but that backfired, and that almost ruined the relationship between Franz and Elisabeth. But they did go on the country tour, and she wanted to bring their family all together, and I think she got some type of sickness. It was going all around the castle, and her daughter was ending up, you know, dying from the complication of that sickness. But one thing I did learn is that Napoleon is very smart, and he was trying to give Maximilian a heads up, but I feel as though France did not want to listen. So France actually does play a big part of the downfall of Austria. He's losing a lot of soldiers, and his brother was trying to tell him, but he doesn't really want to listen to Maximilian. Now, Maximilian's wife is very smart as well. I definitely see why they are together, because they're both intelligent and they're both very bold. And she's basically trying to tell Maximilian that it doesn't matter, the situation between you and your brother. He's never going to give you that position. You will never have the power that you want, because he's not going to give it to you. And it was true. So she's trying to get him to separate from the family. And Maximilian is trying to be loyal, but at the end of the day, she ended up being correct. And Elisabeth is now back at home because the loss of her daughter really took a toll on her relationship. Her and Franz are not in a good place. So she decided to go back home, and she finds out that her sister is 16 years old and she's about to be married off. And once she found the healing that she's looking for, it looks like that she mended a relationship with her mom. She even found her father being lost in the woods, and he started off his hometown. She decided to find her strength again, because she was definitely left in a dark place after that. But her and France rekindled their love. They both were suffering a lot being apart, so having them come back together was definitely beautiful, because it has not been easy for neither one of them this season, between him and the war, and her in the losing her daughter, her almost dying, things of that nature. So I'm glad that they did come back together. But now the war is taking a toll on the whole country of Austria, and the emperor decides that he wants to go and be the general of the army, because he realized that he doesn't have any experience. He doesn't have any experience of the outside world. He's completely blind. Where Napoleon, he is a ruler, he is an emperor, but he declared it himself. It wasn't given to him. He earned his right to be an emperor, and he wants to get his feet wet. And I feel like it definitely is a good position for him to go on, because he needs to find himself and figure out who he is as an emperor, but also as a person. And you can't do that if you're just staying in a house and you're watching everything in life pass you by, and you're just making orders when you don't understand what is going on. So the Duchess is much so against France going out there, because she's scared to lose her son. And she literally had a breakdown in the castle where Elisabeth, she didn't want it to happen, but she's going to allow France to find his way. And the power dynamic switches. You can see the power that Elisabeth has, and you can see that she doesn't have power by fear. She has the power of strength, whereas the Duchess now needs the Empress strength to move forward. She's going to actually have to start trusting and believing in the Empress, where she was her arch nemesis. So what do you guys think of this season? Comment down below, and I will see you guys next time.